Welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment. Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment as the Tennessee Titans, and let me update the bottom ticker, lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars 16-20. And wow. Now, not everyone saw my preview yesterday because it was last minute. I wasn't even sure if I was going to do it, but I decided to actually make a preview for this game, even though, as most of you guys know, I was not looking forward to this game. I just don't really care at this point. Like, I didn't care. Let me not say I didn't care at all. But in terms of this specific game, I went into it saying, if we make the playoffs, we're not going to win the Super Bowl. We might win a game and then go to the division round, maybe, but that's absolutely at best. And then I have to watch the Titans in a divisional game and get their asses beat by the Chiefs or the Bills or the Bengals. What's the point? I don't care with Joshua Dobbs at the helm. I just don't care. I mean, winning a third AFC South title in a row, I get that's another banner that you can, hang up. No one's going to care next year that we won the division this year. No one's going to care. In fact, no one's going to care in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, the Jacksonville Jaguars will have won the division, and no one's going to care because they'll be eliminated, and it's just something that you write in the record book that happened. It doesn't matter to me. It matters to me more so when it's a team like the Jaguars that's on the ascension, and winning the AFC South is a sign of progress. Winning the AFC South for us, it's standard. It doesn't mean anything to me at this point, especially knowing that ultimately this is a disappointing season going 8-9, and that's just the fact of the matter. However, there still was for the AFC South Championship, and it was a game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and as such, it was a game that, at the very least, because I'm a Titans fan, garners interest because of that. But as a lot of Titans fans were still in the mentality, and you know what? I'm not even hating on this mentality. Look, I think there's two sides here, and I don't think there has to be. I think there needs to be a blending of the sides and the mentalities here when it comes to the Tennessee Titans fan base. You have people like me that really didn't care about the result of this game. It kind of would rather prefer to just lose and have a higher pick, not only in the first round, by the way, but in the first round, in the second round, in the third round. People only think about the first round. You're not only talking about a 9-10 pick difference in the first round. You're talking about that difference in the first round, the second round, the third round, the fourth round. That's a lot more draft capital per round for a team that needs draft capital. So because of that reason, and more importantly for me, to still have the flexibility to potentially get a franchise quarterback in the draft. Because if we would have won this game and go to the playoffs, we are not going to get a franchise quarterback in the draft in this upcoming draft. Okay, if this wouldn't happen, we'd have to take someone late first or in the second or third and then do the whole Malik Willis thing again. Now we have a chance to get Stroud, Levis, or Young. It's a chance. And I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's a chance, damn it. And let me have that chance. Let me have that potential. Because winning this game and going to the playoffs and probably losing to the Chargers, and yay, now we're picking 19, but now we have to stick with Tannehill because there's no quarterbacks that are going to be available at 19, and you can't trade up from 19 and get one of those top 3 quarterbacks most likely. You're stuck. You have to run Tannehill again just because of that, because you're probably not going to get Carr, because you're probably not going to get Rodgers, and you shouldn't because they're both too expensive considering the fact that we still have Tannehill. Brady would just be a one-year thing. It's just, there's no real option that excites me outside of potentially getting one of those top 3 quarterbacks. So now there's some excitement left for me. So while everyone's down into the drevels and sad that we lost this game, look, I don't like losing to the Jaguars. But the fact of the matter is, we didn't lose to the Jaguars today. Guess who we lost to today? We lost to the Tennessee Titans today. Now that actually kind of hurts. Because I actually predicted in my preview video that we were going to lose 24-20. And I said in this video, go back and watch the video. I'll put it in the card right now. I said in that video that Derrick Henry was going to show up. And he played actually not that great, but he played well. I told you that Big Jeff Simmons was going to show up, and he definitely did. I told you that Danique Autry was going to show up, and he really didn't, but he was there. He showed up. I don't know if he played well, but he showed up. I told you that Kevin Byard was going to play well. I told you that T.R. Tart was going to play well, that DeMarcus Walker was going to play well, that they were not going to go down without a fight, and I was correct. And this game should have been won, but this team beat itself. And it beat itself by Joshua Dobbs to an extent. Now, I'm not going to blame him entirely. The number one is the offensive line. Now, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Let's discuss that. As Dennis Daly, who will go down to me as the worst tackle to ever play a snap of NFL football, continues to play. You cannot convince me that there is not a tackle alive that is available that can come in and perform better than Dennis Daly. You can't tell me we can't find that. How? Are we only playing him because we traded a pick for him? Is that the only reason why? I mean, that must be the only, or maybe he has something over Mike Vrabel. How Dennis Daly continues to play the left tackle position professionally, let alone as a starter, is beyond me. I don't know how it's happening. I don't know what's going on. Someone make sense of it for me. So he continues to be an absolute disaster. Get him out of here. Get him out. I want him out. Now, Joshua Dobbs. Now, this is why I'm very annoyed. And I've been very annoyed for weeks. Actually, it's been like a week and a half. Because, look, there is an allure around Joshua Dobbs. Because he went to UT and actually, he had 2 9-win seasons for UT, University of Tennessee, by the way, because I know there's some Texas people out there that like to claim that UT's their UT, whatever, I don't care. He went to Tennessee. He did decent at Tennessee. Well, I'll say for Tennessee did well. And because of that, and because they've seen him do well at points, they believe he's going to come in here, and I couldn't even believe what I've been reading. Well, wait a minute. He could be a diamond in the rough. He's not Aladdin. He's Joshua Dobbs. I mean, my God, people. He has been a perennial practice squad player for the last 2 seasons. This season, he's been on 2 other teams this season, and he didn't even play poorly. I would grade his performance as a C+. It wasn't even that bad. But what did I tell you in my preview? What was going to happen is eventually he was going to become Joshua Dobbs, the 4th round pick that has not been able to maintain himself on an NFL roster. And that's what happened. He had the interception, which was terrible. It was awful. First of all, even if there is no defender on the field, okay, I'm not convinced. I think he probably could. Probably. But I'm not even convinced that Joshua Dobbs at his own 5-yard line can throw outside the numbers to Treylon Burks, who at the time when he was running was at about and would have caught the ball. He would have been at the opposite 45. I mean, that is a 50-yard throw. He could probably make it. Okay, maybe I'm being a little bit exaggerating there. But to make it then under pressure, and he way underthrew it. I mean, he only threw it so it's 50 yards in terms of vertical distance. But if you run the Pythagorean theorem, I'm sure it's like 66, 67. I mean, even in good conditions, that's a hard throw. Let me just say that. That's a hard throw to make in good conditions, let alone when you're draped with defenders. I don't know if Joshua Dobbs can make that. So he's wild for even thinking he can make that throw. So he didn't throw the 67 yards Pythagorean theorem that he would need to. He instead threw it maybe 50, and then guess what? Way underthrown, intercepted. And if his hand was after the ball was gone. If he was able to get all of that and step into it, maybe it barely gets there. I don't think he could really overthrow him like that. I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know Joshua Dobbs' arm like that. All I'm telling you is this. I would only trust a couple people to make that throw in this league. Herbert, Mahomes, Burrow could probably do it. Even Burrow would struggle with that throw. That is not an easy throw. Allen could do it. I think Rodgers could still do it. I think he can still do it. I mean, the list is short, so I don't know why he was so convinced that he can make that throw. He underthrew that. So that was number one. And that allowed the Jaguars to get a field goal. By the way, we're up 16-10 at this point. And then we come to the fumble. Now, was it a fumble? Now, let me tell you, we're going to zoom in on this, and I'm telling you this. It is extremely, extremely, extremely close. I think if they called it either way, it would have stood, but I think they got it right. I honestly believe if you slow it down, as soon as he's about to start actually moving forward, you can see the ball coming out of his hands. As he's already been hit, like he was hit first and the ball was still in its grips. Then the ball starts to come out right before he moves forward. I think you have to call that a fumble, and I think it was correctly called a fumble. So, and I know people are saying we got screwed on that, whatever, that's fine. If you really want to go down on that hill, sure, okay, blame the whole game on that if you want, blame the rest for that. I think if you talk to most people, don't talk to Titans fans, don't talk to Jaguar fans. Run a poll, run a random poll. Ask NFL fans in general, do you think this was a fumble or do you think it was incomplete? And I'm telling you, the poll is going to be about 65% fumble. Okay? It's going to be about 65% fumble. So you can sit there and cry about it all day long. Fine, go cry. Most people are going to say that's a fumble. That's what most people are going to say. I'm just telling you. I'm just literally just telling you that's what most people believe. So you can believe something different. Hey, I believe something different all the time. I believe that we weren't going to win this game. I believe that we were going to lose out. I was different than a lot of people. Only difference is that's why I'm right. Okay, and that's why I'm MJ the Conqueror, because I see the future. That's why I'm Paul Atreides. That's why I'm, the Prince of Arrakis, because I see the future. Don't you see? Don't you see my third eye? I know I hide it, but I hide it well. I was the first one to come on here or any other platform and warn the community that we are about to lose out. I was the first one to tell you that Malik Willis stinks. I was the first one to tell you do not get excited about Joshua Dobbs. The moment will come. And now we are 7-10 after being 7-3, and we're talking about the NFL draft. Just as I've been talking about the NFL draft on this channel for 2 weeks, because I know it's a relevant conversation to have. Everyone was talking smack. Why are Titans fans talking about the draft? We still have this season, because those of us that were smart enough could tell, were able to see the season is over, guys. Even though this game was close, I felt it in my heart that we were not going to win this game. I had friends texting me at halftime, wait a minute. After the Joshua Dobbs touchdown, wait a minute. And I never wavered. I knew this was going to happen. The fate was sealed. It was written. All we needed was one win after we went 7-3, and we couldn't even do that. It's just ridiculous. I guess we technically needed two. But we needed one. We needed this one or two others. Couldn't do it. We couldn't hack it. So there you go. It's unfortunate. This was a very disappointing season. It's quite disappointing, definitely. We've gone from last year, what was a Super Bowl contender, to now a mediocre franchise. We are now back to being a mediocre franchise. Welcome. Hi, welcome back. We have not been mediocre since, I would say, 2016. Well, actually, I was going to say 2016, but 2016, we were 9-7. It ended up being pretty decent. And then 2014 and 15, we were just awful. So we really haven't been mediocre since 2013. So it's been 9 years. Hi, welcome back to mediocrity. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. So 7-10. This Joshua Dobbs thing. Look, and I like the guy. Aerospace engineering. Did you know? Could you tell? Could they not say that anymore on the broadcast? Well, the aerospace engineer, because thank God I don't play football. They'd be like, well, you're the software engineer. I guess he can memorize every play. He must be so smart to memorize every play, isn't he? Oh, try. He's an aerospace engineer. Okay, he's smart, Jesus Christ. That doesn't mean that you have to mention it every damn play. Being an aerospace engineer and being quarterback are two very different things. I can guarantee you of that. So, with that said, look, this Joshua Dobbs thing, I don't hate the guy. I just hate the hype. It's just so ridiculous to me. Just think about this for a second, please. Blaine Gabbert went to University of Missouri. Probably the best university, definitely the highest drafted University of Missouri quarterback I can remember. And played very well at Missouri, right? Was a high draft pick. Now, when he came here as a backup, and when he had to start for us when Mariota was hurt, did anyone give a damn? Did anyone think about, well, Gabbert might be the future? Look out for this Blaine Gabbert now. No, we're just like, okay, God, just please, Lord, just guide Blaine Gabbert. Just please, Lord, please, God, Blaine Gabbert through the night. Just guide him through the night. Just get him through. Just get him through for us. Just let him through just so we can hold on. Just so that Mariota can come back. Come on, just let Blaine play well. We knew that Gabbert stunk, and we were cool with that. We knew he was a backup, and that was the only discussion. There was no discussion. When Logan Woodside, well, you never really had to play in the regular season, but let's say he did. We'd be saying, Woodside, oh, just go in there, just do your thing. No, don't worry, just be all right. Russie Smith, no, it's cool, dog. Just do your best. Just do your best. But Joshua Dobbs came in, and people were like, no, wait a minute. He's a diamond in the rough. No. He can lead us to the Super Bowl. No, believe me. I saw it at UT. Joshua Dobbs can do this. No, and then let's get him back next year. And let's have him compete for the starting job. What are you people talking about? If you people would have told me this time last year that we'd be discussing Joshua Dobbs in 2024, I would have put a gun to my head. Now, that's a little far for you too. And I'm kidding, by the way. But, I mean, my goodness, past me would have said, what the hell happened? A year from now, we're talking about Joshua Dobbs? Seriously? Are we in hell? What happened there? So let's stop it. He can be on the roster next year as a 3, okay? As a 3 competing for 2. Any sort of discussion about him starting, I don't want to hear it. Good, I'm happy it's over. Hopefully, let's put an end to this forever. I mean, God. My God. Woo! So that's the end of that. Oh, I feel cleansed now. Okay. So, with that said, outside of him, yeah, Henry, 3.6 yards a carry, passed 1,500 yards for the season again, so that's good for him. Third time in his career, headed towards a Hall of Fame career. Does he have one more left in him? We'll see. But, you'll see on that. Okay, so elsewhere, Chig Okonkwo. We have a tight end number 1 next year, man. Chig Okonkwo played well, 42 yards. What does this put him at for the season? This puts him at about 452 yards. 450 yards. 450 yards and I guess 2 touchdowns for the season. No, 3 touchdowns for the season. So a good rookie campaign for a 3rd round rookie, a tight end to come in and do that. You feel excited about that. You know, you would feel with better quarterback production and, maturity, he could be a 600-700 yard tight end next year. Again, don't hold me to that now, but you feel comfortable saying that and looking forward to that next year. So, I'd love that. And look, Hooper also, I gave him the nickname earlier this season of, Austin who? But with Okonkwo playing better, now you're seeing Hooper have the pressure taken off of him, and he looks better. So I'd like Hooper back as a backup tight end on a backup tight end deal. Give him $3-4 million, have him and Okonkwo as a nice tight end duo. I think that's actually a good tight end duo. I think that's one of the better tight end duos potentially next season. So that's something that actually I look at and say, we don't need a tight end. I could actually maybe say that if we re-sign Hooper, if we don't, we definitely still need tight end because Swaim has to be out of here. Swaim stinks. The only thing that Swaim was good at was blocking, and you can't even do that anymore. Jet Swaim has to be out of here. But yeah, like what I was saying from Austin Hooper. Traylon Burks. So Traylon Burks kind of struggled today. He's a little hobbled. But one of the things he needs to learn, especially being as big as he is, he needs to position himself better for these contested catches. You know, a lot of the times the cornerbacks, they're really close to him. They want to contest these catches. And he needs to position himself because these cornerbacks, they come and they jostle the ball out. But if he really positions him, puts himself well, he has a big enough body to really box them out and still be able to grab these balls. So I really want him to get nuanced in terms of being able to body out some of these cornerbacks, put himself in a good position to still come down with some of these balls because the guy's big enough to do that. So if the wide receivers are able to really pound him on that. Unfortunately, I'm not saying anything for Hassan Haskins. I don't know why we haven't been running him early in this season. I would have liked to have seen that. Now it's kind of late. So who knows at this point when it comes to him. But yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't know if you take another running back. I think you have to spend money elsewhere, draft capital elsewhere. It's just disappointing. I mean, we saw nothing from him this season, and I really wanted him to solidify himself as running back number 2. He's done anything but. The only reason you to go into him next season just because you have to. If you can get a cheap running back on the market, like I don't know if you can sign like a Naheem Hines if he's cheap or something like that, I'd do it. All right, we look elsewhere. Let's move to the rest of the offensive line. I mean, it was a disaster at times. I mean, Petit Frere gave it like a sack. What do I mean, not a sack? No, I think he gave up a sack for sure and struggled at times. Like Aaron Brewer. So on the one, Joshua Dobbs on the fumble. So it's unclear to me what happened because Aaron Brewer was the center on that play and he wasn't blocking anybody. So it seems as if Dobbs was the one that should have slid the protection. It seems like. Now, I don't want to go on record, but I want to see what Vrabel says about that tomorrow. That's what it seemed like on the tape. I'm not sure who's responsible that is in terms of whether or not that's Dobbs or if it's on one of those offensive linemen, whether it be probably Brewer, the center who doesn't play center. Or, someone else. But just an unfortunate situation there. And we look elsewhere. So defensively, though. And I forgot to mention defensively, Rashad Weaver, who played very well in this game. And as you look forward towards the cap, and we're going to do a whole cap analysis, and you consider cutting Bud Dupree. And this is something that you have to consider because we are in need of more cap space. And I'm actually okay with this because, look, we're going to have to run next year with Harold Landry. Like, we just re-signed him. Way too much dead cap to cut him yet. Harold Landry's coming back. I think you roll with Weaver and Landry next year and cut Bud Dupree because I think at this point, Weaver is giving you enough to say, wow, he kind of tailed off later in the season. I think he's a starting outside linebacker in this league. And I think he continue to progress to being more consistent and being even better for us. So I feel comfortable with Weaver and Landry and just saying, okay, let's go elsewhere because we still have Autry under contract as well. And we still have Simmons for now. And I would feel comfortable moving off of Bud Dupree considering that, even though there's still some dead cap associated with him. And let me just do a quick check. And again, we're going to do a whole cap analysis later. But yeah, Bud Dupree, let's see his contract and how much dead cap it would be to cut him. This is only 2 years after we signed him too. This is ridiculous. $10 million cap hit, and he has $10 million dead cap. He has a $20 million cap hit. So you save about $9 million by cutting him. Since we're so strapped for cash, I think you might have to do it. And we'll see if they do. But again, we'll have more discussions about that as the offseason progresses. We continue. Rest of the defense, Monty Rice, I think he's playing well. I think he'd be a starting linebacker for us next season. I also don't think we have much of a choice because Zach Cunningham is definitely getting cut considering the fact that his contract is astronomical. And we'll see about what happens with David Long, but I think Monty Rice is definitely going to start next year. Outside of that, Te'Ar Tart, his sack was great. And is he still under contract? He should be for next season. This guy's cheap, too. And, nose tackles are either really expensive or really cheap these days. I'm happy we found another one here. This is not like a Sylvester Williams situation where this guy's in there doing nothing. Or Daquan Jones, who's in there doing a little bit of something, but barely even that. We actually have a true nose tackle that's able to make plays consistently, able to stop the run. If nothing else, this defense this season has been very good at stopping the run outside of that first game against the New York Giants. So that's something that you love to see. Let's see, Tartar's contract. Yeah, he is an upcoming free agent, so that's going to be an interesting conversation. He's restricted, though, so we should still be fine there, but we'll see about that. And, yeah. Outside of that, defensively, anything else really to discuss? No. I mean, again, we talked about the Simmons play earlier. Roger McCreary had a nice breakup. He also led up the touchdown on Christian Kirk. I'm not going to blame him entirely for that play, though, because that was great play design by Doug Peterson, the Jaguars. Unless if Roger McCreary has Deion Sanders speed, he's not going to be able to beat Christian Kirk on that play. Or just like, I don't know, he's psychic. If he has my psychic abilities, for instance, there's no way he's going to stop Christian Kirk on that touchdown. This was actually frustrating also from the aspect that Trevor Lawrence, who, look, we could continue to anoint him, and I will to a certain extent. Like, he is going to be a great quarterback, and he has been playing great. This was not a good performance by Trevor Lawrence overall. Now, the final stat line was good. He was 20 of 32, 212 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 19.2 passer rating. However, ultimately, if you watch the game, he blew the game. He was the weakness of the Jaguars in this game. If he does not pitch the ball high to Jamal Agnew and cause the fumble, the Jaguars are likely to score a touchdown on that play. He had a wide open touchdown to Zay Jones on a drive in the second half in the third quarter. Didn't throw it to him. I don't know why. Or actually did, overthrew him. He had a couple overthrows in this game. And then the final offensive drive that they had, he threw the ball out of bounds when Marvin Jones was wide open. He could have thrown it way closer to the inside of the field, or actually throw it at least inside the field. And it would have been a completion, maybe even a touchdown for Marvin Jones. I mean, those are 3 significant plays where Trevor Lawrence just effed up. And this is something that I never saw this from him at Clemson. And obviously, how could you? He won so many games. When you get pressure on him and when he's struggling, it gets to his head. It definitely does. You see frustration from him. I heard Doug Peterson talking about, they had to calm him down a little bit, make sure why? You've been in national title games. You've been the superstar at Clemson and all this. Interesting. I want to see him in more close games. I want to see him in these playoffs. I want to see him in big pressure situations. Because now I'm raising my eyebrow. Because although he played very well, and look, there's a lot of college quarterbacks that play well in the playoffs and the national title and whatever. They go to the next league and they can't handle the pressure. I'm interested because we got to him today. And even when we were going to punt back to him, although I still thought the Jaguars were going to win the game, I thought, well, I don't know anymore because he hasn't given me any reason to think that now he's going to wake up and be clutch. He missed every clutch opportunity that he had in this game except for the touchdown to Christian Kirk. He did not play well. And the running game also wasn't there for them. That's also a testament to us. But again, throwing the ball out of bounds to Marvin Jones, missing Zay Jones for the touchdown, causing the fumble to Jamal Agnew. Very bizarre stuff from Trevor Lawrence. Very bizarre. He almost choked this away entirely. If this was Tannehill, if this was Dobbs, if this was any of our quarterbacks, Mariota, I would have given them hell. I would have given them absolute hell, saying, no, you lost us the game. Because there were so many opportunities where our team set you up, and when you couldn't throw a simple open touchdown to Zay Jones, all you have to do is this. Literally all you have to do is that. Even the pass that got batted down by Jeffrey Simmons, wow, that's a great play. Or no, it wasn't batted down by Simmons, but Simmons pressured it. I still think he could have made that throw for a touchdown to Christian Kirk. It was a great play by Simmons. I still think he could have made the play. Even the Rashad Weaver pass defense, I think he could have done a little more to get the pass around him. He kind of telegraphed that he was going to throw it straight to him. That's why Rashad Weaver was able to just come up and block it. So he was rattled. I mean, we definitely rattled Trevor Lawrence today. So, hey, Make sure you save this tape. Save it for the next season when we have to beat them because we got swept by the Jaguars this year. And how about that? That's a little embarrassing. Tennessee Titans get swept by the Jacksonville Jaguars in this game, in this season. Yikes. On national TV. Hey, y'all wanted to compete for the division on national TV? You got it. I didn't want to be here. I was like, do we have to be on national TV? Can we just, I don't think we're that good. Can we just start planning for 2023? Please? Can we just start talking about the draft? Please? Can we start talking about free agents? I don't want to go to the playoffs. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I didn't want to go, Mommy. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go. We weren't ready. What's the point? I mean, it's just, if we were an ascending team, there's a point. We're a descending team, there's no point. The only point is just to say we went to the playoffs. Look, do you think that the Washington Commanders, who went 7-9 and went to the playoffs in 2020, you think that they're bragging that they went to the playoffs in 2020 to the Cowboy fans or to Eagle fans or to Giants fans right now? If the Giants fans, Cowboy fans, and Eagle fans would laugh in their face, who gives a damn? Who gives a damn that you made the playoffs in 2020 and went one and done with Taylor Heineke? Literally no one cares. Literally no one. So I don't understand why we have to make. No, we don't. Next year you won't care. I promise you won't care. I don't care now. And the game just ended. So, I mean, guys, it'll be fine. We missed the playoffs. Who cares? At the time, the Washington football team made it in 2020. Congratulations. No one cares. Right now, literally no one cares. So, with that said, let's go to the Super Chats. Also, I'll go to the chats. Remember, Super Chats always get precedent. By the way, wow, the Super Chats just started rolling all of a sudden. Very interesting timing there, but I'll take it. I'll always take Super Chats. And I'm also considering channel memberships and some exclusive content, but we're going to tackle this off season, though, because I always make promises and then I never follow through. And I have to come up with ideas exactly what that exclusive content is going to be. But I digress. So let's go to the comments. Super Chats always get precedence. We have some Super Chats. Let's begin with a Super Chat from Master Jags. Master Jags says, Jags fan here, insane effort by Tennessee. I thought we lost. I hope this is just a hiccup game by Trevor, but I think it'll be fine. Yeah, it was a great effort by us, defensive. And look, even though Dobbs ended up losing the game, I think it was a great effort by everyone except for Dennis Daly. I mean, that's really the only person you could look at and just say, no effort, you stink, you're terrible, I hate you. Really, he's the only person. And look, I don't hate him as a person. No, I'm kidding when I say that. But that's the only person whose effort you can doubt. Everyone else played hard. Like Joshua Dobbs, he played hard. While I give him hell because, he had the fumble in the interception, he played hard. Everyone played hard. It was a great effort. Jaguars, I thought, played hard too. And look, we did a great job in the first half of having that 10-minute drive. I mean, you looked up, and after the first half, the Jaguars and the Titans had 3 possessions each. I mean, that was our formula to hopefully win the game. Just keep the ball away from you guys to limit the amount of possessions, to limit the amount of opportunities that you guys would have to go down and score. You guys went to scoring range often. I mean, ultimately, you had the 2 field goals and the touchdown. You should have had another at least because you got a fumble. And 2 of those field goals could have easily been touchdown drives. So, yeah, I mean, maybe it was just a hiccup game. My problem is it was a big game. And I have not seen him play like this for 8-9 weeks. So I don't know why this week he decided to, other than because it was a big game. So that's concerning. Let's see how he looks in the playoffs. Maybe in the playoffs he'll play a little looser just because they're underdogs and here they were favorites. So maybe that played a part. But I expected a little more from him tonight. I'm not going to lie to you. Master Jax also says, much love, MJ. Been a fan for you for years. Man, thank you. Appreciate it. I've been here for years, and I appreciate those that have stuck around despite sometimes me not making much content, me making a lot of content, but I've been much more on it this season. Move on to Courtney Tyree Jones. Thank you for the super chat. He says, I predict in Titans fashion, Vrabel will fire Downing and promote Tim Kelly as offensive coordinator. Well, the word on the street is that Downing is coming back. Which, look, I can't believe for multiple reasons. And I'm sure I'm not alone on this. Number one, just because of the performance of the offense. So let's just begin it in there. I'll continue, but that right there is enough for us to say, why the hell is Todd Downing coming back in 2023? That alone. But then you throw in the fact that he got a DUI after a game this season. How can you justify that? It just doesn't make any sense. And I'm not saying because you get one DUI, you have to be fired. I am saying if you get a DUI and you're bad at your job, you have to be fired. I think if you get a DUI and you're bad at your job, I think you have to be fired. I think you have to be fired. That's what I believe. I think I could take a good stance on that. So that's incredible to me. But despite that, he remains. So we just got to roll with it. Very interesting stuff. Tim Kelly, I mean, look, he's in house. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see Downing gone. And look, it wouldn't be that radical of a change. We'll see if we do it. Everyone's been talking about this. Tim Kelly is a passing game coordinator. Our passing game isn't that good. So, I mean, the only reason to promote him, he did decent in Houston. So that's a reason why, because he has familiarity with the offense. That's the reason. Now, I would go with someone else entirely, but knowing Vrabel who's going to want to stay in-house, okay, fine. But I don't know how you can keep Downing knowing that he got a DUI and he's been bad. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Thank you for the super chat, though. Also, thank you for the super chat, Avon Edgeworth, who says, what do you see in Levis? He has bust written all over him. Well, so as I watch more Levis tape, Kentucky did not help him much this season. There were a lot of drops by the wide receivers. The offensive line had its issues. They also had like some internal issues as well. And he has a lot of traits similar to Josh Allen. And look, I did not believe in Josh Allen coming out, man. I said he has bust written all over him. And then he improved, and then he improved, and now he's an all-pro. So you never know, man. I'm just telling you, when you see some of these traits, you have to believe it. Now, when it comes to Anthony Richardson, I don't believe it. He's too bad. He's too radical for me to say Anthony Richardson, I'm going to, invest in this guy. But Levis, man, he has some traits, man, and he might get picked over C.J. Stroud. And if he does, we need to move up. If Levis, look, I believe in Stroud. Levis is very much so 50-50. I believe in Stroud, 100%. We need to get C.J. Stroud before I see him in an Indianapolis Colts uniform. If I have to go into next season and see Bryce Young in a Houston Texans uniform and see C.J. Stroud in an Indianapolis Colts uniform, this is a problem. I can't handle this. I can't do it. I'm going to start taking drugs. I'm going to start taking, I don't know what I'm going to take, but it's going to be bad. It's going to be ridiculously bad. I can't handle it. I'm not that strong. I promise you. So I'm kidding. Don't call the cops. Some of you people, but I just don't want that scenario, because you're talking about we could be in a division with 3 of the top 6 quarterbacks in the last 3 years in Trevor Lawrence, Bryce Young, and C.J. Stroud. Are you kidding me? That is a scenario. If you had to rank both the 2021, 2022, and 2023 quarterbacks only, this would be the ranking most likely. Going as prospects. I'm not talking about now, hindsight's 2020. You would say Trevor Lawrence 1. I would have said, would I have 2021 as the second best quarterback? I think I actually had Fields. I think I had Fields. I had Fields over Wilson. I didn't understand Wilson. But no. Number 2, though, would be Young. 3 would either be Stroud. It'd be Stroud. Stroud is a better prospect than Hurts. Now, Hurts has been very good at the NFL level. Stroud is a better prospect than Hurts. So you're talking about the top 3 quarterbacks in the last 3 drafts in this division, and we might have Tannehill, or some people get their way, Joshua Dobbs or Malik Willis. Oh, hey, we're the new Jaguars of the division. Oh, pain. Please avoid this scenario. Please, please, please. Leonard Akins had an interesting comment. He said, as sports fan entertainment, I think I want to get Bajan so badly and trade Henry. I'm ready for a CMC slash Kamara slash Saquon type back. Wow. Now, if we could trade, God, what are we picking now? 10th or 11th? I think it's going to be available. I think it's going to be very good. This is where you're actually going to get fan MJ, who's rare. But, and I keep saying this and I need to stop saying this. But I just want Derrick Henry to remain a Tennessee Titan until I really see signs of decline. We wouldn't be unwise to trade him. I just think we've owed it to him. He's done so much for us. I just don't want to trade him. I'm not that heartless. I could trade literally anyone else, but Henry, no, I just can't. He's an untradeable for me for the next year at least. Like, I need to see signs of regression before I trade. But it wouldn't be terrible. Like, if you got Bajan with the 10th, 11th pick, traded Henry for like a second, then with that second, now you could take a tackle and you could take a wide receiver, and then I don't know what your quarterback situation is, but you know, at least you have your running back, your tackle, and your wide receiver franchise moving forward. Moving forward, you just got to get the quarterback in there. Maybe you tank for Caleb Williams next year, and then boom, you're ready to roll. It wouldn't be. It's not a terrible idea. I'll tell you that's not a terrible idea. Okay, going back to previous comments. Let's continue. Leonard Akins also said, do you think Meathead Vrabel keeps Downing this next season? I feel he and Todd Downing are like buds till the end, and we might have another Malarkey and Terry Trubisky situation. I mean, it could be. And I'm not sure if Amy Adams-Strunk would pull the move to say you got to fire him or you're out. Because, again, you already fired John Roberts. You're going to fire Vrabel, too. Sheesh. My God. Are we really the Oakland Raiders now? My God. That'd be a disaster. Maybe. And if that's the case, look, if he keeps doubting next year and we struggle next year, you got to get rid of Vrabel because at that point, that's just disrespectful. Hey, you're putting your life on the line for that. If he wants Downing, cool. Now you're tied to him. If y'all don't perform well, y'all both are gone, we can go pick up the phone and call Sean Payton. If he's still available, we can pick up the phone and call Sean McVay when he's trying to come back. Sean McVay, you want a job next year? He's going to be back. Sean McVay's going to be back. Also, who was talking about coming back? Harbaugh. I'd be fine with Harbaugh next year if he doesn't make it this year. Harbaugh, McVay, Payton, there's some decent free agent head coaches. So go ahead, Vrabel. Go ahead. Hatch your ticket or whatever the phrase is to Todd Downing, and we'll see how it's gonna work out for you. Joshua George says suck for Drake May. He's also pretty good. James Miller says, would you trade it for Stroud? Absolutely. That's my number one thing right now. That's what I want to do 110%. That's my move. I'm putting it right now. If I'm the new, well, there's no GM right now. Let's get a GM. But if I'm the front office, that's why I'm planning it. I'm doing it. Let's go. Let's ride. Look, if the 49ers could trade it for Trey Lance, who no one watched at North Dakota State and no one knew anything about, and they can give up 3 first-round picks for him, why can't we give up 3 first-round picks for C.J. Stroud? Coming out of Ohio State, being now coached with a quarterback being coached by a head coach that went to Ohio State. Look at that beautiful connection. Get ready. I mean, let's get ready to roll. I mean, seriously, it's a match made in heaven. Stroud and Vrabel, and let's rock and roll. Now, you got to get him better protection. And look, year 1 might be a little brutal, but like Trevor Lawrence, I think he'd bounce back in year 2 and do well. I'm down. Let's roll. Let's do it. Come on. Because I'm not sure if we're going to get this opportunity again. I like Caleb Williams better than Stroud. Drake May, I need to see more of May before I say that. Everyone else, nope. Next year, as of now, nope. Now, someone's probably going to come onto the market or end up drafts are going to be a lot better, come into the fray. As of right now, I like Stroud less than Williams, more at least equal to May. So I love him. Go get him. And that's me. That's just me, though. Leonard Akins also says, what was Vrabel thinking, trotting out daily from weeks and after weeks of bad play, but he suddenly has the urge to see better quarterback play, but not better left tackle play. I don't know. And that's a very good point because so you're willing to move off your 3rd round quarterback who's supposed to be the future. Well, that's done. And I told you guys it was going to be done. I don't know why no one listened to me. Whatever. Anyway, and yet they won't move off of this, tackle who's a veteran who they could easily move off of and just start anyone else. And then no one cares. No one cares. I don't know. We have another super chat. This comes from Kevin Davis. Kevin Davis says, unpopular opinion here, but I'm liking the idea of taking Will Levis in the first round. Arm talent is hard to find. Yeah, I mean, we're going to do a film study on Will Levis on this channel in the offseason now that you're now in the offseason. Yay. And as will Stroud and probably Young, even though we won't get Young. I mean, again, he could really bust out, man. I mean, it's going to be very, very, very interesting. It is very hard to find, and he has that Josh Allen package. Did my mic cut out? Well, someone saying they can't hear, but you should be able to. Can't. Started the intro on accident. I'll see if that continues. Anyway, so yeah, it's hard to find, and we'll see what we do. But for right now, I am still I'm curious. And as we look at the draft landscape, and do I sell my mock draft on this? I don't think so. Go watch my mock draft if you haven't already. Oh no, well actually let me put my other mock on this. So this is my latest mock. I might have to adjust the screen on this. Oh no, I don't have to. Brilliant. So if you look at the mock draft, this is my latest mock draft. Check out my mock draft video to give me a view at least. But yeah, so my latest mock draft. So I have Texans taking Bryce Young number 1. I have Will Anderson going number 2 to the Chicago Bears. Also, can I do my little? Is my little me available? Yeah, let me do my little me. Yay, little me. Okay, so as you guys can see within the top 10 here. So I currently have Bryce Young 1. I have CJ Stroud 5. Now, of the teams that could potentially take quarterback. So Texans, yes. Bears, no. Bears, if the Texans win tomorrow against the Colts, Bears lose, most likely to me, they're starting Nathan Peterman. Bears move to number 1. Now, here's the thing. Bears could look to move out of number 1. Now you could potentially move up to number 1 and take Bryce Young. Now, that would take a lot. That would take 3 first-round picks and more. And look, while I love Bryce Young, man, that's a heavy price to pay, dog. That'd be crazy. So that's the potential. Other teams, the Seahawks, so they could take a quarterback. But Geno Smith, man, he's going to pass 30 touchdown passes tomorrow. Can you really move off of a quarterback that threw for over 30 passing touchdowns? I'm not sure that you can. Colts at number 5 who are taking CJ Stroud. They're definitely in the market. Hopefully they get enticed to like trade for Derek Carr or something, and we don't have to worry about them, but we'll see. Lions, no. Falcons, I think they're going to stick with Raider, which is a mistake to me, but whatever, let them make that mistake. 8, Raiders. So who are they going to trade Derek Carr to? Are they going to pick up a veteran? Hopefully, to me, what I want to see here is I want to see them pick up some idiot like Daniel Jones or like Jimmy Garoppolo. Hopefully they do something stupid, and we can get away with them now being in the market. Panthers also in the market, and then we're sitting there at number 11. Now, we could still end up number 10, I think. Well, we certainly can. If the Saints win, then the Eagles go to 11, we go to 10. If not, we stick at 11. I'd love to go to 10. It gives us a better chance. So we're going to see. It's definitely going to be interesting. But we're in the mix. With this loss, we are able to see possibility to move up and get a quarterback. It's there. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying it's possible. And I'd rather have this possibility and also have flexibility. And look, if you want to trade down, fine. You could trade down from 10 to 20. But at least you pick up more draft capital. So losing this game was better for this franchise long term. And that's what I believe. And look, if you really are invested in this team, you hate seeing this team losing, you hate losing to Jaguar fans, look, Jaguar fans, they're on meth, most of them. The only Jaguar fan worth a damn is UCF Jaguar. Shout out to UCF Jaguar. That's the only one that I recognize. The rest of them are on meth. Okay, they open their mouth, they're yellow, yuck. Don't worry about Jacksonville Jaguar fans. They'll be back to the gutter and the swamps in a moment. They're just depressed because UF isn't doing anything. Okay, so don't worry about Jacksonville Jaguar fans. Football is the only thing that they have. They don't have any money. They live in Jacksonville. If they had money, they live in Miami. They live in Tampa. They have no money. That's why they live in Jacksonville. Don't listen to people from Jacksonville. These horrible people. So yeah, that's why Jaguar fans don't bother me. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. People from Orlando have more money than people from Jacksonville, for God's sake. Jacksonville. All right, so let's get this mock off the screen. Let's get some more comments read. But thank you for the super chat, Kevin Davis. Let me keep going too, because I haven't gotten through enough comments, to be honest. Yeah, so okay, I guess some people I haven't gotten. Stephen Aguirre says, as a sports fan, he said we should consider a corner in the first round and focus on that if you're agency. Corner is a desperate need, in my opinion. So, in my opinion, is it a desperate need? It's a need, but like you still have now. While McCurry has struggled, it was his rookie season, and at times he's looked good. And then Fulton's entering his contract year. Those are your two starting corners. For now, I think you start to start them next year. So, do you want to take a slot corner, number 3 corner next year? I don't. Not next year. Because we still have the pressing need to tackle. To me, quarterback, definitely left guard still. It was always a problem, but we've just been avoiding it. We've just been like, oh, let's just throw Aaron Brewer out there. It'll be fine. Still at wide receiver. I might even now. There's no linebackers that are available first round anyway, so that's irrelevant. I put corner after those. So sure, after those, then corner. And if there's a corner value that you love, fine. But I just have a problem with that because you need to see more of Christian Fulton and you need to see more of Roger McCreary. And those are your starting corners, right? I mean, I take another one. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if I go first round on a corner. All right, 8-8 says, do you think the Super Bowl window is fine? It's officially shut? Yep, it's done. It's over. It's a wrap. Even if we get Rodgers next season, which I don't think is going to happen, we're not going to win a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. Like, we're no better than the Packers with Aaron Rodgers. Like, it's going to look the exact same as the Packers look right now with Aaron Rodgers. They might make the playoffs. They're not going to win the Super Bowl. It's closed. It's over. It's done. It was nice, though. It was nice while it lasted. It was cool. All right, SEP says, what do you think Henry's future is? Next year, I think he plays well. Now, I don't think he's going to break 1,500 yards again. I'd say 12 or 13. Well, it's a 17-game season, so 13. And I think he's going to run well because, again, we have no backup running backs. Now, I want to see if we add one. But since Hassan Haskins can't do anything and Julius Chestnut is Julius Chestnut, and I'm sure Mekhi Sargent will be making a comeback in the preseason, I'm pretty sure he's going to get the bulk share of the carries again. Andre Bunting says, I've been saying since the Eagles game, we need to focus on the offseason. Now, why don't you go for Stroud, take a wide receiver, left tackle, or cornerback? I want to go for Stroud. If not, then take a left tackle. If we don't have a left tackle at that point, if we don't, take a wide receiver. Cornerback, we'll see. One thing I want to posit to the chat, and let me go ahead and make a poll on this. So I tweeted this on Twitter. I made a poll about this on Twitter. But I want to know you guys' thoughts on this. Would you trade a second-round pick for Mike Evans, wide receiver Mike Evans? Now, why am I asking this question? Mike Evans he's not going to be traded? Why would he be traded? Well, let's ask this question. So, in my belief, how do I actually send this poll? I already asked this last time, too. Oh, there it is. Now, here's why I asked this question. So, there are no free agent wide receivers with a damn right now that I see. The best is like Jacoby Myers, who's good, but does he move the needle? He's good, but having Burks and Myers next year is like, Okay, so I'm not really excited about that. And then you have like Juju is a free agent. He's gonna come in here and like do okay. Like it's not gonna be 1,000-yard thing. Who else is? Let me see. Upcoming free agent wide receivers on the list that I saw. Let me go to NFL free agent 2023. Let me not use Spot Rack. Let's use, where's that? Yeah, that's the website I'm looking for. So you look at this list of wide receivers, of WRs, if you will, for you Frenchmen. So Jacoby Myers is the best one, followed by McCall Hardman, Alan Lazard, Juju, DJ Chark, Darius Slayton, Olamide Zacchaeus. I don't want any of these people. I don't want any of these people. So I started looking at, well, who's a free agent the next season? Mike Evans. Interesting. Tom Brady, I believe, is going to leave the Buccaneers. When he does, the Bucs are going to be like, you know what? We got a tank. Let's just go ahead and rebuild. Evans he's 30. Let's see if we can get some draft capital for him. And it's going to be surprise trade. Just like, now this isn't the same scenario, but there are these trades that happen you're not expecting. People weren't expecting Devonta Adams to get traded. He got traded. People weren't expecting Tyreek Hill to get traded. He got traded. People weren't expecting Marquise Brown to get traded. He got traded. Mike Evans is the next name to me. Look out for it. Now, before you say that he's old, it seems like he's old. It seems like he's been in the league forever, right? He's been in the league forever. He's only 29 as of right now. He's going to be 30 next year. Before you say 30, so old. Literally, Devonta Adams is 30. He's literally 30. He's literally older than Mike Evans. And the Raiders had no problem giving up a first and a second for Devonta. So why can't we trade a second for Mike? I don't think it would take a first. I don't think. Because I think the perception is that he's old, and I think that perception is going to hurt him. And I think he's only going to be good traded for a second. I'm interested. Now, the pushback is, would you rather instead just take a young guy, right? And then hopefully that young guy is with us for a decade. Mike Evans will be with us for maybe 4 or 5 years. That's a good argument. Decent argument. That's why I'm just asking the question. I don't feel strongly either way. But I think that's something that I look at to say, this definitively then you say, okay, so now we have, because I think you can't leave free agency with, look, if we enter next season with Tannehill, even though I don't want to, I'm fine with it as long as we leave free agency with either, you gotta give me one, okay? Just give me one. Either a left tackle or a wide receiver that I can believe in. If you give me that, or both, hopefully both, if you give me that, then fine, we can run it back. And then we could head into the draft with a top 10 pick, draft a top 10, let's say we get a wide receiver, Mike Evans. Now we can head into the draft a top 10 tackle in the first round, in the second round, draft a top guard or maybe a corner, or what would be hopefully Ben Jones is not retired. Someone was joking about that. He better not retire. I'll kick his ass. Well, we just traded our second round pick in this scenario. Never mind. But okay, third round. Take a guard or sign a guard. Just sign a guard in free agency that could start, for God's sake. Because Nate Davis, he's still in the contract, right? Yeah, he's still in the contract. I'm not wrong on that. Nate Davis contract. Oh, no, he's not. Damn it. That's a problem. Okay, you're going to have to take a guard then. So first round tackle, third round guard, because you're either going to need to fill the left one or the right one. One of them you got to sign in free agency. And then, fourth, fifth round, give me a fourth, fifth round. Give me another wide receiver, because I know some of y'all like Kyle Phillips. Just give me another wide receiver anyway. Then give me a corner. Give me a corner, then a wide receiver. And then give me outside linebacker. Okay. Now I feel like we're back to 10-7. And then if you get to the playoffs with Tannehill, if he's playing well, there's a chance. Okay, there's a chance. Just like going into the season, there's a chance. I'm fine with that. Now, is that exciting for me? No. And if you're asking me what I would rather do, to be honest with you, church, I would literally rather trade up for Stroud and go 6-11 next year and honestly feel better about the future of this franchise. I'm not going to lie to you. I actually would, 100%. Because now I know we have our franchise quarterback. Going down that road with Tannehill, we'd go through that year. After that year, it'd probably be over, most likely. And then I don't know what we do. It would just be like, yeah. But at least I don't know. I want to see. Yeah, everyone's saying Benjo's retiring, man. That would suck. Woo, we got work to do in this offseason, yo. We got work to do. Man, maybe we want to blow this thing up, man. Maybe we should start blowing this thing up, bro. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't think we're good. Trying to compete for the Super Bowl next year, trying to compete for the playoffs. Maybe you can compete for the playoffs. But I want to compete for the playoffs with an ascending team, not with a descending team, not with a flat team. I would rather have, because this year was not even a retool year. This was just a disappointing year. This was a year where we had expectations. I didn't have high expectations. I said it was going to be 10-7 or 9-8, but a lot of people had expectations. Where we had higher expectations and we failed to meet those expectations, and now our franchise is on the decline. And I would much rather go into next season saying, okay, now we're retooling or rebuilding. And now we're on an upward trajectory. Might have to dip down to go back up, but you can see that, hey, in 2 years from now, we could be Super Bowl contenders again. But if we just muddy the waters and just try to stay afloat, man, that doesn't excite me for next season. And look, I'm still going to watch the games. Who am I kidding? And I'm still going to cover the games, and I'm still going to talk about the games, and I'm still going to tweet and all of that. But yeah, I mean, it's just brutal. So right now, the poll, 66% says that they would trade for Mike Evans. Right now, we have 69 votes. Ha 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 ha. Keep those votes coming in, but that's something that I'm considering. All right, so let's continue. Oh boy. All right, Ryan Marcantello says, are we going to get a top 10 pick now, either 10 or 11? We get our pick of the litter for offensive tackle and can't mess it up. Yeah, I mean, there might be one. So it's either going to be Peter Skoronski right now, as of right now, what the draft stock is, that might be picked before us, but there's a good chance he might fall to us. Right now, I have him falling to us. We could literally get the best tackle in the entire draft, and that would be a great situation for us. Leonard Aikens says, if you can move off Henry and get Bajoner, Gibbs would jump on it. Another Draconite says, again, no points in the second half. Downing is done. Well, we'll see. Vrabel's his boy. Jacob Desmore says, it is definitely CJ, Bryce Young, or bust for me. We got to get our friends as quarterback in the building. Will Levis is not it. Daniel Wesley says, do you think we draft an offensive lineman in the first round or Addison? Yeah. Addison, I want to see more before I say he's picked a 10 or 11. I like Addison. But another thing is, like, I don't know why he didn't produce. Wait, was he injured actually? Maybe he was injured. Let me actually confirm how many games he played before I run my mouth. Because I saw he only had like 856. And when I've seen him play, he's played well. But I saw he had like 856 yards. Maybe he has more now after the game that they played. But that's surprising. Playing with Caleb Williams. Like, you would think he'd have more production than that. And he produced well at Pitt. So I don't really know what happened there. Maybe he missed some games. Oh, he missed like 3 games. Oh, okay. That makes sense then. Okay, I can excuse it. Yeah, maybe Addison. We're going to watch tape for sure. I was just wondering why the production went down. But yeah, maybe Addison is potentially up for as a possibility. That's for sure. Okay, let's continue. Boy, y'all came through with the comments today. Lit in the comments today. Appreciate it. Much appreciated. It's a shame, too, because now we head into off-season content where the live streams are much less lively. But I will remain consistent with the content. I like now, like when I get off work, I just think about what type of content can I make. And right now, I have enough freedom to where I'm able to usually make some sort of content relatively daily, as long as there's something to talk about. So that's good. Minecraft God says, what about trading for Jordan Love? I don't know anything about Jordan Love. What I've seen in the preseason hasn't been that impressive. I wouldn't trade more than a 4th, and then you're just running Jordan Love versus Malik Willis and who the hell knows what the hell is going to happen in your situation. I want to know something. I don't know anything about it. Josh Moore says, do you think it's possible the Titans could get good trade value for Tannehill? Lots of teams need quarterbacks. Now, the reason I say no, okay, is because Tannehill has a pretty decent cap hit. Let's check it right now again. I want to say it's $36 million. So right now, Ryan Tannehill's contract, you are looking at a cap hit of $36 million, $36.6 million. So what team is really willing to pay Tannehill $36 million for next year? I don't know many teams are going to do that. So I think the most you're going to get is a 5th or 6th. Like, I don't think you're going to get much for. If he was getting paid much less, you could. But since he's getting paid a lot more, I don't know if that's going to happen for you, Church, unless if we take some of that salary, which we probably would have to. That's why I think it's more likely he might get cut. Or the quarterback swap, but like let's say a car situation. Real facts saying, why is Josh Allen being treated like he's in a huge anomaly? Josh Allen being successful is the only reason Will Levis has any first-round stock. I mean, yeah. But if you don't look at the anomalies, you miss Patrick Mahomes. You know, you miss the Josh Allen. You miss these guys. Everyone has a fear of missing out. Andre Bunny says, I love to trade Tannehill to the Raiders for their second. Again, I don't think teams are going to just say, yeah, we'll pay Tannehill $36.6 million to send him over. We're down. I don't know about all that. Alan Houston says, who are the 5 most important players on the Titans right now for 2023? As of right now, who are on the roster? 5 most important: Jeffrey Simmons, Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill, Traylon Burks, Kevin Byard. There may be Byard before Burks, but Burks is important because if he doesn't produce at wide receiver, we have nothing at wide receiver as of right now. Okay, a couple more comments, and then we will get out of here. And by the way, Chig is up there as well. I can't put him over those guys, though. No, those guys are more important than Chig. But Chig is also important for sure. All right. So one more super chat. I almost missed it. Stephen Aguirre says, what do you think about a trade for Ramsey? Whew. Now, that would be interesting. The problem with that is, again, if we had more cap, sure, we don't have cap. So the only reason like I'm considering that even for a moment is I would love the idea of having like Simmons and having Ramsey and having, I guess Landry, I guess is our best linebacker after as of right now. That would be a nice trio. And Byard, Jesus. But I don't know if you can make that money work. I mean, the only thing, you'd have a very cheap and young offense. Like, that's the only way you'd make it work. But I think that's just a little too expensive in terms of the monetarily speaking. He's getting paid $20 million a year as a corner. You know, that's hard to fit in. So I don't know if we can do that. I think we just have too much money elsewhere. All right. So with that said, that's going to do it. Tennessee Titans season comes to an end. They are defeated by the Jacksonville Jaguars 16-20. Guys, it's sad. I know it's sad. And again, you come to this channel, hopefully, because you like to hear a good, educated, honest, real opinion that I provide week in, week out, year in, year out. Yet everyone telling you, no, guys, let's get excited for this game. We still have a chance. Joshua Dobbs can lead us. We could do this, this, and that. Look out for this, this, and that. Look out for this, this, and that. And I told you, no, 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 no. This season is over. We need to start preparing for 2023. I'm going to start preparing for 2023, and I would advise you to do the same. This is why you come to this channel, because I'm not going to BS you. I know it's so easy. People like to go on Twitter and hype everyone up, and it's fun. And we should be fans and have fun. I'm not saying you can't have fun, but you gotta be rational. At halftime, people were talking about Joshua Dobbs for next year at halftime. And then what happened in the second half? Shut up. Just literally just keep your mouth shut. I mean, how many more years do you have to see the same thing? It's ridiculous. When will some people gain intelligence? I don't understand it. It's incredible to me. So with that said, next video, I'm considering doing a season recap, but we've done recaps every week. This alone was kind of like a season recap, so what's the point? I mean, maybe. So maybe it's gonna be like more of like an all-season preview. We'll see. I might wait a week before doing that. Let us really sit on this. If any news comes out, and there will be news that comes out, I will definitely discuss that for sure, though. And I'm sure probably that will be the case. So stay tuned for that. Until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. Steve Wall.